What's up guys, welcome back. After seeing the Primal MT monster truck at this last week's AMA Expo, I've been trying to find the best way to self-justify to myself on why I need to buy this. Now the last time I bought a giant expensive RC was my Rovan gas buggy, and I am extremely happy with that. I feel like I've done a good amount of learning on that, and yeah, I can move on to a more expensive one. It's kind of just ironic that I said in my last video that this is probably the largest and most expensive RC I'll ever have, and now I'm shopping for one that's basically a factor of 7 to 8 times more expensive. But nonetheless, this is a very interesting monster truck. It is one of a kind. I think it's going to be a classic one day sooner or later. And guess what? As of making this video, we all have 180 days to make a couple changes in our life to self-justify the purchase of this giant truck. I've come up with 2 methods on how I'm going to put myself on the road to the truck. And the first method, it's going to have a couple breakdowns later, is self-control. So I'm going to try to use certain rules of self-control, mainly not buy any more RC cars or buy any more accessories like this chain and trailer crawl kit that I personally do not need. Now, yes, I know we could all self-justify the purchase of any RC in our fleet. You know, sometimes there's times when you need 3 Traxxas JATOs because, God forbid, one part breaks and you don't want to buy a part, but you want to have a spare roller. Or you need, 3 Traxxas TRX 3.3 engines because they're just so unreliable. I know I personally have a lot of those emotions. I think I have 2 or 3 HPI MTs. I personally just like the original HPI MT. We all have a truck that we're just kind of stuck on like that. I mean, I know you guys do, right? Tell me in the comments below which ones you prefer. The second method that I'm going to use to my benefit is capitalism and consumerism. Now, believe it or not, whenever you're making large purchases, a lot of people don't like to use credit, but I was web surfing the other day and there's a great credit card offer right now. I actually just applied for it. I was accepted. Thank God for me. I have a good credit score, So you can actually save $500 now if you open up this credit card. Let me give you guys a screenshot here of the name of the card. It is a MasterCard, so you got to make sure that it's accepted everywhere. I did check for the pre-orders on the Primal RC website, and they do accept the MasterCard logo, so that is fantastic. Their offer right now is save $500 on your first 3,000 in purchases in 3 months. So that is basically 15 to 16% savings you'll have right there. You gotta make sure you buy $3,000 worth in 3 months, and then you'll save $500 as a cashback offer, obviously if you qualify. A lot of people really don't care about the price of any of these things. They say, well, if I like it and it makes me happy, I'm gonna get it. Now, yes, I understand that point of view. I'm like that too. But there's also a flip side to that. As people, I personally believe that some of our psychology is to always consider a term called opportunity cost. That is basically what else you could do with that money. So whenever I try to make a larger purchase, I always think of, well, how many Traxxas Revos can I get? Guys, that's just a joke. In reality, that is a normal, typical human behavior. We always pretty much have evolved from the barter system, and it's normal to always say to yourself, well, what else can you get? And that is really one of the main issues that's been stopping me from purchasing this flat out, unless there's some kind of other ultra great incentive I can get. But guess what? On top of the best credit card offer going right now, Primal RC is offering a $200 pre-order bonus. So currently right now, the truck is advertised at $2,900 less a $200 discount. So yeah, it's going to be $2,699 plus obviously shipping and your applicable state and local sales tax charges.
Lipo cutoff, guys, lipo cutoff.
So let's talk about the actual truck itself. I've been bantering for a little bit of a time here, but I gotta tell you, I do think there's very good value in the Primal RC monster truck. So not only is it basically all fully upgraded, you don't need to spend almost any money on anything. I don't actually see anything on that chassis. The list of aluminum CNC parts is just so enormous. This truck obviously comes ready to run. It is enormous, guys. The wheels, I was there in person when I saw it. The wheels are 12 inches. They are literally twice the size of the basic fifth scale tire. Let's measure the factory tire size on this basic fifth scale buggy that I have. Guess what? This is really only 6 inches. I'm going to show you guys right here. It is 6 inches. 6 inches. The Primal MT monster truck is 12 inches, guys. So the tire is literally going to be, let me show you up to where it's going to be. It's going to be insane. A foot. It's going to be up to here. It is literally going to be taller than the highest point, which is the wing on this buggy. I mean, that is insane. I mean, I cannot wait to get it. It's also going to be much wider. The width of the tire on the Primal MT is 7.5 inches. Look at this width. This is basically only 3 inches. So the width is going to be, you know, like that. Oh my God. It's going to be this big. That is nice. What about the length of that Primal MT? Let's check out the length. So the length on this, I already know what it is. I'll show you guys right here. Let me measure. I already know the length. It is 29 here, but it's basically about 32 or so, you know, if you take into account the exhaust. The Primal MT is 40 inches, guys. 40 inches. Basically, these buggies are just very long, but there's really not that much technology here in the front. Yeah, they have the servo, they have the fuel tank, the electronics. But honestly, a lot of this space is relatively unnecessary. They just basically designed them this way so they handle a little bit better and they look longer. And this is how the sandrail designs were originally made. The monster truck design, it's longer, it's wider, guys. This is a relatively narrow buggy. If you look at it, it's basically just long. It really is not that wide. That is one of the main things I like about the Primal MT monster truck, is the size factor alone. What about speed? Now, a lot of times monster trucks are extremely slow, especially crawlers. They are really slow because they're meant to have very low gearing to crawl over anything at very low engine RPM. The best thing about this Primal MT, you don't gotta spend any money on gearing. They already include 5 different ratios for your gearing set. So it says that it has a top speed of about 30 plus, which is definitely realistic. If you consider the speed of a Veloci MT XL, it's basically around the same top speed as this giant monster truck. Now, the engine on this alone is a 49cc reed valve pocket bike engine. I've never had a pocket bike, but I mean, I've seen people zooming around the streets on them, and guess what? This thing weighs 80 pounds. When an adult sits on a pocket bike, maybe that's about, I don't know, 150 to 200 pounds. And they're doing a pretty good job speeding along the street and not getting killed, right? So I guess that means that this engine is going to perform quite well in this chain drive setup here. Another fantastic thing is this thing is the only ready-to-run gas RC I've seen that already includes a factory remote kill switch. So not only does this thing use a really good FlySky remote with 5 or 6 channel memory, but it also has a built-in remote kill switch. You don't need to do anything to the coil, you don't gotta disassemble it, you don't gotta buy a new remote, you don't gotta put wires in there and then hope that your kill switch works. This thing is already done at the factory. I mean, why do we all have to spend extra money on a $1,500 Losi 5T to put in a kill switch? I just don't get it. Another super notable feature is this thing has reverse. I'm not really even aware of any gas truck of this scale that has reverse. I have not seen any. Now, New Era did make a giant scale gas trucks. Some of them were actually called a quarter scale. But if you look at their chassis design, they're nowhere close to the suspension geometry and chassis layout of the Primal MT. Now, I'm not an actual expert on these, but I'll tell you this, I have seen the New Eras in person, and they're basically just giant roll cages made to look like and take up a lot of space, and a basic, cheapo engine inside. There's very minimal suspension travel, and currently they sell for $3,000 to $4,000, sometimes $5,000 on eBay. So if you look at it this way, with the cashback offer right now and the Primal MT $200 savings on the pre-order, you're actually getting a bargain. You could be into this truck for under $2,500 if you play your cards right. Okay guys, what do you think? I've written myself a prescription for self-punishment by not buying any RCs or having any frivolous purchases, by making sure I reduce the size of my coffee at McDonald's on my lunch break, and that's an actual fact. I'm not even kidding about that right now. I know I joke around a lot because that's kind of just what I like doing. And I've also talked about the benefits of capitalism and consumerism that we could all use today to make sure that we land our thumbs on that trigger. Now, as they say, there's a seat for every ass, depending on whether you're on a bus or at work or in the library or at school. And guess what? This thumb and this finger are going to be on the remote of the Primal MT monster truck pretty soon. So listen guys, stay tuned, keep watching. At this point right now, I'm waiting for my credit card to come in about 7 to 10 business days. Of course, you know that's what they say. Who knows when I'll actually get it, but hopefully they don't sell out of the pre-orders. You gotta make sure to get on this deal right now. This is one of those time is of the essence kind of things. I have the credit card offer working for me, and I have the actual incentive to purchase on the pre-order working for me right now also. There it is, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. If you have any more ideas for me on how to save money other than, you know, selling blood, which I definitely would, but for some reason they don't buy blood anymore. I actually always donate it and really get nothing for it anyway. But there it is, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Till next time.